I've given up all my foundation products and I'm only using this one instead. I'm talking my Estee Lauder Double Wear. That's on the shelf. My Revlon Color Stay Long Wear. It's collecting dust because I found what I think is my holy grail foundation, and I do not say that lightly. I've been making videos here about foundations for about 7.5 years on this channel, so I've tried a number of them in my day, but I've given them all up for this one product, and it's not even exactly a foundation. Let me tell you about it. So to give you a bit of a backstory, and there's a video on this, I think, from the fall on my channel when I first started trying it. It's from a company that's all about clean, minimalist beauty. If I'm recalling correctly, it started as a direct-to-consumer brand, but shortly thereafter it started being sold at Sephora. I'm talking about Merit. It's also a cruelty-free brand. So the product for me that has changed my entire complexion routine and made it frankly much simpler and much easier to take with me is this Minimalist Stick foundation. I've been using it for, well, since I got it back in, I think, September, daily. Every single day, you know, with some exceptions. Look how much is still left. I mean, I think that if I were using my Color Stay Long Wear, I would have gone through a couple bottles by now instead. But there's actually quite a bit left, so I'm impressed with how much there is. Now, let me tell you about how I've been using it and why I think it's been working so well. So I have been using this Merit serum. So that's the first product I ever tried. And then I would try the foundation stick. It's technically not a foundation stick. It's supposed to like take the place of concealer, foundation, etc. But I was using these two together and they were nice. But then during the first little while, they also launched this moisturizer. So I find that if I start with the serum, give it some time to sink in, and then I go in with this moisturizer, and then when those two products settle down, and it doesn't take long, like they go into the skin pretty quickly, then I go in with my foundation stick, and it's just like very nice. I'm not gonna say all day color and coverage, I'm gonna say most of the day coverage. But you don't need these two products. They're nice, they're pricey. In my testing, I have found along the way that the Cicaplast Balm B5, which is my favorite, almost like not just a moisturizer, almost like a primer as well. It's quite affordable. I'll put links down for all of these things down below. But when I use this underneath, actually, it looks just as nice. So you can skip the expensive stuff. But if you are just using your own moisturizer or SPFs, I have had pilling. It's just a little bit of a matter of trial and error. So with my serum and my moisturizer nicely layered, and because it's actually later in the day, I actually don't need SPF right now because there's zero chance of me getting any kind of sunburn, although I have used it with my favorite SPFs and it's been fine over it. No pilling. Let's apply a little. So what I am gonna do is turn on my little mirror here. This is my Ricky Loves Ricky little LED mirror, and I'll tell you why. Let me just put this here and get going with this. So the reason that I have to have a mirror is because I like to go in pretty thickly with it. Like that is not quite enough for what I want. So I will put some more dots, but it will blend very nicely, but sometimes in here I can't see it that well. So I either have to go by a window that's near me and see in some light, or I have to make sure I have something lighted to make sure that I'm really blending it in well. So I might do a couple dots here, but I think this is more than a lot of people are using, but this is, I think for me, the way that it looks the nicest. I've always been a fan of slightly heavier foundation coverage, but now I'm getting to that age where it's starting to settle into like a little bit of creasing. I'm not too much with the crow's feet or anything like that, but I want something that moves with my face. I want something lighter. I don't really want to look like I'm wearing foundation, and I'm finding that as I age, that is becoming a little bit more and more the case unless I'm careful. So this has been such a corrective, such a great corrective for it. So the brush that I'm using is one that's also from Merit. I mean, there is nothing special about this brush, but maybe if everything's on sale as a package, you want to pick one up. Another brush that works well is just this inexpensive one. This is just an RT complexion. I think it's called the complexion brush. I can't remember anymore, but this one works equally as well. Although I will say the density of the bristles really is what makes this spread the product really well. So these two things do work well together. So if you're on the fence about getting the brush, I can definitely vouch for it. It does work well. So after I dot myself in here, I'm gonna lean in and I'm gonna look, because usually what I will have done is like left a line here, but this color matches me so well. So this is ochre. I've never had a complexion product match my skin tone this well. So the other thing that I wanted to tell you, if you are considering this, use foundation matchers. I think Merit offers one. I think Sephora offers one. I don't know that Sephora's is fantastic. I mean, I've been kind of hit or miss. I like the website foundation.com. And again, I'll put that down below in the comments and also in the description. I like to keep my links in both places. It just matches so well. I've never had one where I can just go like this, you know, and have it match so perfectly my skin tone. So if you're here from my other like double wear foundation videos where you can see that I can never quite match the color quite right, and you think you're the same skin tone as me, maybe give this one a try. I mean, Merit is kind of trying to straddle that line where they're not exactly luxury, but they're not luxury. So the price point is okay. I think that their moisturizers and serum products are kind of expensive for what they are, but this is so worth it. Like if I could only put you onto one product, this is it out of everything that I've tried. And I was a bit mixed on it at first. It did take some getting used to. So if you are going to be using it, and you'll see how nicely this color has blended in, look at that. You can also use your fingers if you wish. If you do really want to try before you buy, Sephora carries Merit as well, so that could be a place that you can go give it a look in real life. But coming back to the point I was initially making, do give it a few tries. I don't know that I liked it for the first maybe 4 or 5 tries. I'm gonna say when I got to about the week mark, I'm like, oh, this is nice, because I wasn't just looking here thinking, I was out in the real world thinking this looks really, really pretty. I look so lively. I feel like my skin is coming through. It's not such a heavy coverage that it conceals my skin tones, but it takes out the redness, which you probably saw. Like my skin was much pinker when we started going, but this really brings it very even, but still leaves highlights in my skin, leaves a bit of the flaws so I look like a real person and not an AI filter, which I think is a good thing in this day and age, am I right? So if you're purchasing from Merit right now, this is super duper cute little bag. They always give away these little bags that are, I think, free with your first purchase, and I think there's free shipping over $40, maybe it's even $35. I always get confused on exactly what it is, but I find it so sweet. Being someone who was, you know, born in the late 70s and a child in the 80s, we wore so much corduroy. Like everybody wore brown corduroy, like regardless of their gender. Just have a look at some photos from the 80s if you don't believe me. So they send you this little pouch, which can be a little handbag or whatever. It doesn't have to be for your makeup. I've seen people walking out in the street just kind of carrying it like a little pouchy evening bag. I've seen people put art supplies in there. So I'm like such a sucker for gifts with purchase. Do you remember traveling to Europe a long time ago and all magazines were sold with something like this or like a little umbrella or something like that to encourage you to buy from the newsstand? So it kind of gives me those vibes, and they must know it at Merit because they have been offering these like bags for as long as I can remember now. And they switch them out, so it's not always the same one. And I like that they don't brand it with anything. It's just super cute. But anyhow, you're not here for that. Okay, so that is how we're looking with the first layer of the Merit. I will find even in the hottest of the hot days, it does last pretty well. But here's the nice thing. I took this with me to Portugal, and this was the only product that I took. I didn't take my longtime favorite foundation at all, Color Stay. I just was not in the mood. And the nice thing is this is just so easy. I could put it in my purse. I could bring it with me. I was looking so tired the first couple days because, you know, you kind of miss a night's sleep. So it's so good for touch-ups. Like I can touch this up on the plane. I can touch this up somewhere out and about in like Lisbon and not feel silly. Whereas I'm really not gonna put a pump of foundation on my finger and touch up during the day. So this also kind of works as a concealer as well, as you can see. The cool thing is you can kind of keep layering, keep adding, and I don't know where it goes, but it kind of doesn't add up to any kind of thick layer. Some people don't like it though. So there's definitely a faction of people who try it and they're just not getting along with it. So is it for everybody? I'm not gonna say that it definitely is, but if your skin is like me and your beauty habits are like mine, and maybe you're struggling to find a good color match, maybe just give it a try. Now, one thing I don't use from Merit is their eye products. Like maybe they're good, I don't know. I have not gone down that route yet. So what I'm using here for my ghost eyebrows is this sketch and set from Tarte. And I keep trying other products and I am always landing back on this one because for the money, I've got a dark blob there that I've got to brush out. For the money, you get the colored liner on one side. Of course, it's a colored liner. Why am I even saying that? What else would it be? But then you also got the tinted brow gel on this side. So yeah, Tarte Sketch and Set, and I think my color is, I want to say it's something like darkest brown. I'm actually, oh yeah, brown. Gosh, it doesn't say. I'm officially at the age where I need reading glasses, but guess who's stubborn? to wear them. Yeah, yours truly. I'm gonna wear them on a string around my neck like every librarian you've ever seen. Okay, so I know that we're chatting through this, but honestly, my normal routine for putting on the foundation lasts not more than 4 minutes, which is kind of nice. The only thing I have to watch out for is blending down here. I always miss that area, but the rest goes very, very smoothly. I think I just straight up, when I'm doing it in a rush, I'm just straight up forgetting to go down in here. But as we're chatting, this product is kind of melting into my skin and it's looking better and better. You can definitely use fingers to move it around. I just like, in this case, to use the brush. I'm a big advocate in general for using fingers to apply certain foundations, especially double wear. If you're having trouble with your double wear, definitely try using your fingers. That might actually make a huge difference. All right, as soon as I do a little bit of eyebrow work, I already feel like my face has more dimension in it. It's crazy how much of a difference even a little bit of eyebrow product makes. Like if I'm in a real low makeup mood, I'll just do this Minimalist foundation stick. Is that actually what it's called? I don't even think that's what it's called actually. Let's look here, people. Hold on. Oh, it's called the Minimalist Perfecting Complexion Stick. I am so sorry to lead you down that path, but that is the only product they carry like this, so it's not like you're gonna get it confused at the time of this filming with anything else that they carry. Yeah, the Minimalist Perfecting Complexion Stick. They don't use the word foundation in there. So with my eyebrows done, I already look more like human form and less like ghost form, which is nice. I love that for me. So I'm gonna turn off this because I actually don't need so much brightness now. And I'm roasting. We're in the middle of a heat wave here in Toronto. My lips are a bit dry, so we're gonna address this with a product. So stay tuned. I've got 2 more Merit products. I'll show them to you in a minute. Let me just get a little bit of eyeliner on. I am very, very extra when it comes to eyeliner. I actually use 2 different types. I use this one from Clinique, and then on top of it, I'll go in with the Stila, which is the waterproof one. Actually, they're both waterproof, but I just find that one gets the thin line, the Clinique, and then the Stila seals it all in with a thicker line. It's ridiculous. I'd never said I was normal. So an interesting thing is I'm finding that as I age, I'm needing to stamp. I used to see people do this and think, oh, I don't need to do that, but I'm needing to actually stamp on my eyeliner, which was never really a thing I had to do before. That and my waterline up here has become much more pronounced as I age, so you can see more of the white underneath here. So given that we're in a heat wave, I don't think I'm gonna bother with mascara because I know that that's just gonna give me raccoon eyes in about 1 hour. So this is the basic complexion stuff done. Let me go by the mirror and you can have a better look. Let's see here. I think that looks pretty nice. Like I said, it gives you this nice glow, but it's not too much. I'm 48, just for context, and I have kind of normal dry skin. I don't know how well this will work with very oily skin. I would be hesitant to give it a strong recommendation if you're like extremely oily. It might just sit not nicely on the top. If you are extremely oily, probably, you know, double wear still is the best foundation for that, to be honest. And if you don't want to spend the double wear money, this Revlon Color Stay, but they make a different formulation. Please excuse how messy this is, but they make this long wear, and this is for oily skin. This will work really, really well. So normal dry works nicely on mature skin if you're definitely keen on a liquid. And then I know I can recommend this one as well if you have oily skin, which I don't. And if you buy one or the other, I accidentally bought this one, actually still works okay, provided you have enough moisturizer underneath. However, I'm in love with this look. I think it looks really, really nice. I'm in natural light right now. I don't have a bunch of like studio lighting to flatten things out. Like this is very accurate. I'm shooting on an iPhone. This is what I look like, for better or for worse. So, okay, so a product I've been liking is actually this pink in Stockholm because I have their other Merit blush. Let me go find it. Hold on, I know it's around. This one in Cheeky was the first one I ever got, and don't let these amber colored lids fool you. They're actually not that color. You have to take them off and then you're like, oh, okay, that's much more like the color. So I'll just do a little bit up here. You can see, very, very pretty, universally flattering pink shade. But I am in love with the cool pinks. That's my favorite blush color. I love wearing blush. I'm one of these too much blush gals who just can't, you know, should stop but can't stop kind of thing. So yeah, don't worry, we're gonna blend it in now. This is where I think you should use your fingers. I don't think you should use this or any other kind of blush brush because it kind of pushes it around too much with the brush. Sorry, I'm not a makeup artist, so I don't always have the best, descriptions at my fingertips of what it's doing. All I know is that if you want to blend, it just blends much nicer with a finger. And you want to just blend around the area where you put the blush. Because if you touch in the blush, you will just remove it. That's what I'm trying to say. But maybe you do need to do that. Like if you need to tone it down because you overdid it, yeah, grab your brush and go back on. And oh, also the cool thing is you hardly ever have to clean this. I mean, you should for obvious reasons, but it doesn't get like wet. It just spreads it around because it doesn't get wet. Like if I were using this plus this would be like every couple days I would need to clean it. But just the way that it spreads the product around means that very little gets on the brush tips. So I'm sure it is still technically dirty and you should technically wash it, but it doesn't get like coated with liquid foundation. And I don't know if that's a thing that's unique to like foundation sticks or not. So this is Cheeky, such a pretty pink color. I love this one. Now, I was like skinfluenced ages ago to buy Hourglass's stick, the one that's in that kind of triangular shaped, really, really classy looking packaging. And it never suited me well. The color was not quite right. It took so much more than they said. They're like, use 3 dabs, use 4 dabs. That was never enough. I was a major skeptic on foundation sticks, but this one, I am in love. I don't know what to say. Everything else here is collecting dust, and this is my daily, and I just bought a backup because I never want to be out of this stick. So the other kind of cool product that I was very like, I don't know, is this Merit, and I always forget the name of it. Is it called, it's like a lip oil kind of product. I think it's like a tinted lip oil. When I saw that, I was like, oh, I don't know. That's a really hot pink, but have a look. My lips are feeling a little dry right now. Here it is. It looks so pink. Look at that. It's like a fuchsia. But when you put it on, there's almost no color at all, but there is a tiny bit of color. And it works really nicely with this Flush Balm. I can't remember the name of this either because what else is new? I can't remember any product names anymore. But again, I'll put it somewhere you can definitely find it if it's of interest to you. And the cool thing about this, and I've been wearing it since I got it, which is a couple weeks ago now, it doesn't dry out my lips, so that's nice. But the other thing that I'm really liking is that it goes on with a bit of that slip feeling, that glide feeling, but very soon it doesn't get matte, but it doesn't keep having that kind of glide, that icky, sticky glide feeling. It eventually stops doing that and it just feels like your lips, but better. Almost like you put a lip balm on, but not like a greasy lip balm. It's very hard to describe. I don't have any other products like that. So this is a good one as well. Right, so here we are. Gonna take off that headband now and resume activities in this absolute heat wave, which I will not complain about. It snows here and it's so cold for half the year, so I'm trying my best not to moan about the hot weather and try and just relax and enjoy it. And the longevity of this, I'll be honest, it's not better and it's not worse than any of the other products. Like eventually it will melt off my face in 35 degrees Celsius heat. Like that is inevitable. Is it suitable for bridal makeup the way double wear is? Like probably not. But if you're just looking for a literal no makeup, minimalist kind of look, it's perfect for that. So I take it everywhere with me. All my vacations lately, this is the only thing that I'm bringing. So thank you to Merit for making such a great product. I didn't think I would ever fall in love with foundation sticks, and I certainly didn't think it was gonna, supplant this foundation, these 2 foundations I've been using for years and years now. I didn't think that would happen, but here we are. Glad that I gave it a try. And if you want to give it a try too, links for all these products down below. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy this, please do consider dropping me a like. Think about subscribing if you want to hang out with me on other types of review videos. I also vlog. And with that said, we'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.